All right, folks. Well. Welcome again to Red Bank High School Econ Thursday, April 23rd, 2020. Talk to you guys just about a couple things we got going on here, a few other details, and some stuff that's going to have to be worked out one way or another as far as all that stuff goes for everything else. So, again, guys, we're going to be working on Section 7 today, kind of finishing up the last stuff for economics, which will be due by the last official day of senior classes and pretty much all classes for anybody in Econ. Friday, May 1st, 2020, for everybody else to be able to just kind of go through and find any questions or answers that they may have regarding any of these things at this particular point in time. So a couple of things, guys, we will hopefully find out this evening. The Superintendent Dr. Johnson and other folks here in the Hamilton County School System are going before the school board today to try to basically put forth their ideas for finishing out the school year with, different ideas for graduation, and then how to basically get your personal property, meaning closing out the actual physical buildings, cleaning out lockers, all those sorts of things in the next few days for everybody else to basically kind of go through without too many delays or any kind of major things happening on those particular fronts. All right, so we'll see. They've got a lot of suggestions, a lot of ideas. They're going to try to bat around and figure out what the actual process is going to be for the next 2.5, 3 weeks. We'll see whether or not the school board says yes or no. That's going to be the big vote for all these different ideas and what's going to happen as well. But nonetheless, none of this stuff is going to be too much craziness as far as changing from one day to the next. No more in-school classes. That's not going to change. No more testing, all that kind of stuff. The March 20th grade anchor. Again, whatever your grade was on March 20th, that's going to be the anchor as far as that stuff goes. I know a lot of people have had some questions and been emailing me about that. Like I said, I'm working through that this week to just make sure the easiest process for me to kind of go through and see what everybody's grade was at that particular point, and how to make sure it stays up to date in PowerSchool. So if your grade is not where you'd like it to be, again, it'll somewhat change here in the next couple of days, and definitely by the end of the week that grade will be in a lot of different ways, shapes, and forms updated for everything else. All right, so we'll pretty much go through and look at all the different stuff that's been happening here, and then we'll just kind of go from there, and we'll kind of just see a few other details along with that. All right. So for Econ Section 7, guys, what this has basically looked at the last couple of days is done some math stuff in regards to two things. One, you borrow money to pay for a house. That's what we went through yesterday. And then borrowing money to pay for a car, and how you finance everything using credit to borrow money in different ways, shapes, and forms for everybody else in between. So that's just kind of the situation that we've been going through, and what we've been kind of typing along together and working with everything else at this particular point in time, and what kind of goes into it. So again, when you're in Section 7, so you guys can kind of see this, and let me go down and get to it. You've got these two Google Sheets, and then you've got the paper packet and the answer document if you want to kind of go through that in any way, shape, or form. And then you've got the bit.ly link with the Google slideshow that has all your information on it. And then you've got the class videos that I've been dropping in, and I'll continue to do so every day. Remember, guys, again, you can do both the Google Sheet, the folio, and the review, or you can do the paper packet, all right, as well. So it's one or the other. If you do both, I'll take whichever one the higher grade equals out at the end of the day. All right, for this. So where we've gotten to, at least at this particular point in time, guys, in this particular situation that we find ourselves, is I've been going through the folio and the paper packet online with you guys. Yesterday, we looked at finding houses. We looked at trying to finance a house to pay for $750 a month or less. We went into all those different details to try to show you guys again how you borrow money to pay for these things. And again, the main concept you need to understand, guys, is when you get out there on your own and you want to have these places for yourself, no matter what it is, whether, like I said, it's a TV, a video game system, a car, a house, clothes, if you finance something, somebody or yourself is paying for it that particular day. Whenever you get that, somebody is paid for that whole thing in full. Now, if you borrowed money to pay for it, you're going to have to pay this back, and that's the basic idea of credit and what goes into it. So we've talked about probably the first two things that people use credit for. Well, most likely is going to be cars and houses. This next one is something that you guys are pretty much familiar with in a lot of ways, shapes, and forms. So I'm going to go through this, especially for you seniors here on 7.3. This is basically how you have to borrow money to pay for school. Whether it's scholarships, whether it's loans, or whatever it is, this is a big one for a lot of different individuals in a lot of different states to basically look at what goes into borrowing money for college, okay? So the first part of this is just some basic information so you guys can see which states have the most amount of debt when it comes to paying for college and which states have the least amount of debt when it comes to paying for college and all the different things in between so you guys can kind of see this. So you can look at all this, and they have different websites and different things that I've tried to give you, and it looks at, you know, which states have the highest debt, which states have the lowest debt in terms of everything else. And you've got, like I said, 2 or 3 different sites that I've tried to basically go through and show you here, you know, which states have the highest, which states have the lowest. So all you got to do is pretty much read through this. And this one has the top 10 states with the largest amount of debt. There's like Indiana, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, Mississippi, Ohio, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and South Dakota has the largest amount of debt when somebody has to pay for student loans or borrowing money for life and education after high school. All right, so you just go through here. You go through and say, you know, which state has the highest, which state has the lowest. Where is Tennessee ranked on this? Where does our state basically rank from 1 through 50? List the top 3 states, list the bottom 3 states. So this is just really simple, basic questions to introduce you to understand that a lot of money is being borrowed with credit to pay for college. This is probably the biggest thing that people look at. Part 2, we've gone from states. Now I wanted you guys to look at cities. So if you look at this, this has a list of cities that has, all right, the lowest debt. Okay, this has the lowest debt as far as actual amount of average overall people in these cities. What I wanted you to find is the top 3 cities on this, all right, as far as everything else. So what you can do is you can click up here the rank button, and there's your ranking again, 1 through 50, and then you could even click state if you wanted to. So if we go down here and we go through state level, you can click on state level and you can see this. There are the top 3 lowest debted cities: Madisonville, Saudi Daisy, and Fayetteville. They average $22,458 in student loans, which seems like, hey, that seems like a whole heck of a lot of money. It is, but at the end of the day, they are actually the 3 lowest cities in our state that have all that as far as money. So you would literally just put those 3 states in and how much money. The next part, which states have the highest, all right, which states have the highest amount of debt in those particular, all right, cities. Same thing here, guys. It's got a list of cities. You can go through, do it by state. If I scroll down here, and click on it at the state level, there you go right there. Cordova, Brentwood, Germantown, Nashville. You can see they're averaging almost 40 grand a piece. So these are the biggest states when it comes to biggest cities for our state that have the highest amount of student loan debt. So again, this is the situation that you see as far as this stuff goes, and you just basically say which city has the highest, which city has the lowest, all that stuff kind of in between when you're looking at that. Next part, this is where you're going to break down the overall debt in all of our cities. What is the median debt for a student in Nashville? So here's how you do this. You open this up. This has a student loan calculator, which it's going to show you exactly how much money you're going to pay per month. We'll do that one later. What I wanted you guys to come to is this map right here. All right, you can see there's Nashville, Memphis, all these other states. How you find these cities is once you get to this map, lower right-hand corner, it says view the full list. All right, all you have to do is it'll pop up with a list with every city. You type in Nashville. This is how much money a average student is in debt. This is how much money somebody makes once they graduate from college. All I want is that number. So like for Nashville, it'd be $24,122. That is the average amount of someone that graduates from college and someone who graduated high school in Nashville, Tennessee. Knoxville, same thing. Just literally search for Knoxville. If I could spell it right, that would help. $20,976. What about Memphis? How much is it for people that live in Memphis? There's your Memphis, $23,000. And then the last major city in our state, the city that we live in, $19,237. So that's just looking at, again, what is the average number of debt for an 18-year-old student out of high school going into college, and when they get out of college, what is the average debt that they carry that they have to pay back at the end of the day? All right. So again, how do you get to that? If you go to the link I gave you, it's going to pop up with a calculator. Scroll past the graph, scroll past the charts, go to the map, lower right-hand corner. It says View Full List. Click on that list. The interactive list will pop up. Just literally type in the city, and it'll give you the number that you need. All right. Part 5. Okay, if you look at all this, this breaks down, again, this idea of, according to the site, which charges the lowest interest rate for student loans. So this is the key thing, guys, that we've been doing the last couple of years. So you can the last couple of weeks and days is interest rates. This is the amount of money they're going to charge you for borrowing money. So I wanted you guys to see the lowest interest rate. You scroll all the way over here. This is where this little student loan calculator is going to come into play. All right. This literally has the database for every single bank that'll give you a loan, including the federal government. So this is the highest interest rate somebody can charge is 20%. The lowest they can charge is 0.125%. You literally just put 20% there, all right, and then 0.125, and then it actually has the lowest number of years, 5 years, highest number, 30 years. So again, this has the highs and the lows for the entire country. All right, and you use those little toggles. You see these little buttons? You use that to find the highs and the lows for all this, and you're going to use it here to go through all this. What is the lowest amount of money a person can borrow? There again, $5,000. Highest per amount, $500,000. So you're just literally finding the highs and lows of all this, guys. All right, so hopefully that's not too big of a deal there. Okay, and then you're trying to find the highest monthly loan. So if I put all this stuff up here, and I did that, $8,355 a month you have to pay back. That would be the highest. What is the lowest monthly payment I can make? $84 a month. Highs and lows, okay? Lows on the left, highs on the right. Just go through all that. So when you see all this stuff, and I'm telling you, drag the button as far as it can go to the left, to the right, that's what you're trying to find, the highs and the lows. Part 6. Okay, this is where you're basically looking at and using this calculator. What is the monthly payment for borrowing $15,000 for 10 years at 5%? So I wanted to borrow 15 grand. I'm going to actually type it because it's easier than trying to toggle that. I need to borrow it for 10 years. And what is my interest? 5%. They're going to charge me 5% interest. Look at that. $159 a month, every month for 10 years. Okay. What is the total amount for borrowing this? So if you look at all this stuff down here at the bottom, you're going to borrow $15,000. You're going to pay back $19,092. You're literally paying $4,000 on this. So this literally shows you guys all your information right here in this student loan calculator. Okay. You don't have to do any math. You just have to plug this number in. So this sample is $15,000 for 10 years at 5% APR. The last part, guys, This is, okay, this is your college choice. You're going to pick 2 colleges you'd like to go to. It's going to have the college name, the location, and how much it's going to cost in tuition. You fill in the red boxes, and then you're going to use that calculator to figure it out. So I'm going to just do, probably the 2 biggest that are around here. So let's do our state. Let's do UTC, and then we'll do UTK. All right. So you can see it literally has all this stuff in here. So I'm going to do view all 86. I'm going to search for Chattanooga because it's going to make life a lot easier for me to try to find it. The University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, guys, right there. Look at that. $6,088. And you got to look at this. $6,888 per year. Okay? So if I'm scrolling back down here, where'd it go? There it is. The University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. $6,888 per year. All right? If you wanted to take a loan out on the entire time that you're going to be there, because again, guys, when you're taking out a college loan, it's not, every year, it's all 4 years. So it's got to be $6,888 times 4, $27,552 just to pay for tuition. Okay, so what you'd fill in, college name, I'll just do UTC, that's simple. All right, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tuition cost, this is how much my tuition cost is. $27,552. Why? This is a 4-year school. All right? So guess what? You're going to imagine that if you borrow money to go to this school, it's not UTC you're borrowing money from. It's a bank. It's the government. It's somebody that's willing to loan you close to 30 grand. So look at this. All you do is you go back to that loan calculator that I gave you, $27,552. They're going to charge me, let's see what I said, 10 years at 5%. Guess what? Look at that. Literally did all the math for me. $292 a month every month for 10 years, and I'm going to end up paying back $35,068. That's literally all you do, guys. You plug all this information in. $298 right there. Total amount borrowed. All right, so you can see this is how much money you actually borrowed. And then what is your total interest? There's your interest, guys. You just literally copy and paste all these numbers down. And that's all you have to do. Okay? So make sure, guys, when you see all this stuff and what's going into it and everything else, that's all I wanted you to do. And I wanted you to pick one more place. So here's the key to this. Number one, you need to take into account that when you look up how much it's going to cost, this is per year. If you're going to Chat State, guys, that's a 2-year deal. All right. If you're going to Chat State, that's $3,744 a year times 2. Why? It's a 2-year school. So if you're trying to figure out how much money it's going to cost to go to these places, you need to go back and look at, again, how much money, all right, it's going to cost you and how many years it's going to cost you. And then you don't have to do any math, guys. This calculator link that I've given you right here, all it's literally asking you is just to plug in the information. You have to figure out how much the total loan is going to cost you. That's where you figure out how many years and how much money it is a year. And then you literally just fill in all this stuff down here at the bottom by seeing how much this calculator spits back out to you. All right. This, the reason why I'm looking at this, guys, this is probably one of the biggest things that people have when they get out of college. It's one of the biggest amounts of debt. The average time span for most people to pay back student loans is, if you graduate school at the age of 21, most people are averaging to the age of 36. So most people are literally paying student loans for almost 15 years when they get out of college. Student loans are without a doubt one of the biggest things for credit and borrowing money that people have right now. It's getting even bigger. It used to be credit cards used to be one of the biggest, but student loans are actually overtaking credit card debt as some of the largest amount of credit use and debt in the United States. And again, it's just borrowed money that people are using to pay for this stuff. Okay, so that is 7.3. That is the last thing. All right, last thing for your eFolio for section 7. Tomorrow, I'm going to start on the review. It's called Real Life Survival Outline, and we'll go through that a little bit more. But right now, I'm going to transition over here to the answer doc, and then everything else that we've kind of got going on here, so you guys can kind of see it, and different things that have been kind of happening there at the exact same time. Okay, so for this next one, what you've got right here as far as everything else is more vocabulary words as far as everything that's been kind of going on here and everything else that's been kind of happening. You've got medium exchange, barter, standard value, store value, all this stuff. So the next one, it says, and I'm just going to do a handful of them here. It says trading repair work at an apartment building for a free apartment is an example of. That is a great example of bartering. All right. So for number 1, that would be barter. All right. I'll skip down here to number 4 so you guys can see this one. For number 4, blank is defined as paper, money, and coins. So if you're trying to describe this idea of paper, money, and coins, this, all right, has multiple answers. Okay, so some people say, hey, is there more than one correct answer on these? Yes, there absolutely is more than one correct answer on all this. But for this one, what you could label it as is rep money. All right, coins and money is representative money. It's basically the idea of money that represents a standard of value for gold or whatever backs our currency. Our money and currency and representative money is backed by gold. Checking, so let's move on down here. Let's do number 8. Forms of blank include savings account, all right, and time deposits. All right. So what you have here as far as this stuff goes is it's trying to break down the overall standard of money. And on number 8, the forms of money, including savings account and everything else, what you could basically list that one. Let me get my font here so you guys can see it, that it's highlighted and everything else before I go any further. Okay, so for this one, this is what we call near money. All right, near money is basically the idea of, okay, this is how you hold money, but you can't do anything with it. Meaning you can't physically take stuff out of this. Savings account and time deposits is where the money is not quite in your hands, but it's almost there. All right. So the last one I'll do here for you guys on number 10 is this idea for what we call, excuse me here, get this right, blank. A blank is the means through which goods and services can be exchanged. This is exactly what it sounds like. This is a medium of exchange. This is basically where things are adjusted, or basically where money is exchanged in trade for goods, all right, and services. All right, so all you're doing is going through that. Please make sure, guys, and use the bit.ly links I'm giving you right here. So like if you need help on this, it says bit.ly, let me show you, bit.ly/ELG-5. If I type some of this stuff in, you can see there's all these different forms of money and things that we've talked about. Financial services, there's all the stuff the banks do for you, all that stuff. Or if you go to this next bit.ly link, the RBHS Econ book, I'll show you here. There you go. Type that in. There's your digital textbook right there, guys. All right. And if you're trying to figure out where this is, we're on Unit 4, Chapter 10. Money and banking, the developments, modern banking, student loans, all that stuff. That's where we would basically be at if you're trying to find it. One thing that some people want to try to figure out, I'll show you. You can find and document, watch this, medium of exchange. So if you just hit Control F, medium of exchange, look at that. Boom. Vocabulary word right there. There it is. There it is. Use Control F, guys. I can't stress this enough. Control F, search for vocabulary words. So if I'm going through this and I'm trying to figure out what the heck is fiat money, go up here. Open this book up. Fiat money. Boom, right there. There it is. Shows exactly what it means. Fiat money has no tangible backing, is declared that the government issues it and accepts it by citizens. This is what we call paper and coin money. All right? Paper money backed by something tangible as silver or gold that gives it value. This is the idea of representative money and fiat money overall. All right? So make sure you guys see that difference and you know what's going on there. Okay, so that is where we will stop. Today we'll go a little bit further tomorrow, talking about this idea, continuing the paper packet. And then tomorrow, guys, we will start this review stuff for Section 7. Again, you've got the folio and the review or the paper packet, your call, whichever one you want. A lot of people are having trouble figuring out what times they're going to be open here at the schoolhouse. Again, it's hit or miss right now. Usually it's between 10 and 12 in the morning, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. You can try to go see if they'll be able to open up for you guys. Right now, though, they're not really doing that until we have the meeting this evening with the school board so we can figure out the actual process. So if you keep trying to go to the school, I can't guarantee it'll be there for you guys, but we'll just kind of play it by ear and see what basically happens here in the next couple of days. We'll know a lot more after this school board meeting this evening for everybody else. All right? So make sure, guys, today, try to finish up the 70 folio, 7.1, 2, and 3, or continue on the paper packet. Make sure you guys are turning that in. You can take pictures, however you want to do that. Again, this is it, guys. You've got 11 overall assignments. Section 7, eFolio and Review, 6, 3, 2, and 1. The Google class sign-up was the first grade, and I will adjust most of this stuff accordingly after that. All right, so that's it for today. I will be available again for the Coach Bowman Q&A chat sessions this afternoon. Please make sure, guys, if you have questions, to come chat with me. I've been on there for multiple hours a day, having people kind of just drop in and ask questions and need help and do all this stuff. That's why I'm there, guys. We've literally got, I think overall, we've got 6 online classes left to go today, tomorrow, and then Monday through Friday next week, and that is it. All right? So make sure you're keeping on track with this. If you need help, please let me know as soon as possible, and we'll get you guys squared away. So that's it. Talk to you guys later. Hopefully this finds you happy, healthy, and doing somewhat well. Stay safe, and we'll talk more.